Hello, my name is Ilona and today is Tuesday, March 5th, 2024. I'm going to make a very short video. I unfortunately don't have a lot of time this morning, but I did want to make a video. So I'm going to start with something groundbreaking. This is just amazing. There is an agreement from the European Union and they've discussed this almost all Monday long. They've really had to negotiate for this, but they've now got an agreement. It still has to be made into law, but they've got an agreement. And the agreement is just, listen to this, from January 1st, 2030, there is like this, it's not allowed to have mini bottles of hotel shampoos. So hotels are not allowed to have them anymore. Mayonnaise sachets. And they're not going to seal your suitcases on the airport anymore. The climate is saved. Because let's face it, it was trembling under the suppression by those mayonnaise sachets and all these mini bottles of hotel shampoo. Finally, it's here. Something other that's also happening in the Netherlands, and I'm sure this is maybe also happening in other countries. I'm not sure about this, but this is not only the week of all these strange education that I talked about yesterday in my video. We've also had the National Week without meat and dairy. Yes. And they're pushing this, and this is from Horizon Europe. It's being sponsored by the European Union. Wow, who could have come up with that? The European Union, this is part of those sustainable development goals they have from the United Nations. From, of course, Klaus with his Eat the Bugs. I'm surprised they're not pushing that as well, but they're doing that as well. But now it's really about getting people off meat and off dairy, trying to get rid of all those farmers. Obviously, it's all connected. All has to do with our sustainable goals. So apparently this is the National Week here in the Netherlands. So obviously I'm going to eat a lot of meat and fish and things this week to celebrate that one. So anyway, this is really just insane, but I'm sure this is happening around the world as well. And the thing I wanted to take a look at here in this video is really about the European Union again. I've also seen some messages about that the digital euro is being pushed through. It's already been pushed through. It's really in the preparation phase right now. And I've already mentioned this, that this is started in November 1st, 2023. And this is really an investigation, preparation, and then they want to start implementing it. So around November 1st, 2025, most likely, they will try to push this through. So I was a bit surprised seeing these messages. Well, they're pushing it through anyway. It is already pushed through. They want to push it through as much as possible. So I have to say, I have a feeling that a lot of things will be changed by then. But this is all part of showing the agenda. People need to see it. But there was also something else that caught my eye. I wasn't aware of this. But apparently this is from March 4th. So this is from yesterday, 2024. The Interoperable Europe Act. The Council adopts new law for more efficient digital public services across the EU. Now, this is very interesting because if I'm not mistaken, Queen Maxima of the Netherlands was talking about this digital wallet in Davos. And let's just say a lot of people were not very happy about that because she mentioned then we will all know who got the stings and who who didn't get the sting. That's actually what she mentioned. So there were a lot of criticisms, and I saw an article that she's actually thinking about retiring from the United Nations work. I think that's a good idea, Maxima. But this is interesting. So I actually got cards on that because what is this about? So this is really about the digital wallet. It's about, of course, they bring it like this will be better for everyone in the European Union. It will be easier to get your diplomas, if you go to another country. But it's, of course, all connected. And then they know everything about you, including your sting status, your bank accounts, everything. It will be all connected. So they just have to push in one button and it can be gone and you'll have big problems. But they're not going to mention that because really it's about digitalization. It will be easier for everyone. Of course, they want to push in the digital euro along with it. And of course, it will be next to the cash. And people don't have to be afraid that the cash is going to disappear. But obviously, they're going to. That's their agenda. I don't think it's going to get that far, but that's their agenda. So the cards I've got was very interesting. First of all, the Knight of Swords. So this is about this digitalization and about this new act they actually came up with. So it is the Knight of Swords. They obviously are trying to push things through. But the central card, and this is interesting, is the Two of Swords. And for the past, we have the Four of Swords. And underneath the Two of Swords, we've got the Empress. And for the future, again, two swords cards. The Queen of Swords and the Page of Swords. Well, the swords are about communication. It's about internet, online. So it's very suitable that all these, well, most of the cards are all sword cards. Well, this is about, digitalization. It's the closest you can find in the tarot cards that resemble that have to do with truths, online, internet, things like communication forms. But the interesting thing is that we see that it's been put on hold in the past, because there's not much happening in the Four of Swords in the past. But also, right now, they don't really know what to do with it. The Two of Swords. I do believe that the European Union, there's not much there anymore. To me, it feels very empty. But, they need to push their agendas through. People need to see it. So that's what they're doing. The Knight of Swords, they're kind of just pushing it through. But they really don't know what to do with it. And especially with the Empress energy, that's a completely different energy coming in. A very feminine, the sacred feminine energy coming in, changing things. So I don't think this is going to work out as they have in mind. And especially now with these two cards. The Queen of Swords is a very assertive queen, understanding, very intelligent, very sharp, seeing through everything. It's about the discernment. What is really going on? What do they really want? And the biggest issue they now have is, of course, they need a pliable group of people, they can manipulate, they can just push this through, that are not going to resist, that are not going to take their energy for something else. They need our energy to create. Now you have this bigger, this big group and getting bigger and bigger, resisting this. They're not getting what they want. And this group is like asking questions. What is this about? We don't want this. And especially with the Page of Swords, the Page is very curious. It's usually a young person or just someone with a young energy. But I believe that truths will come out. People are going to get curious. What is really going on? What is behind this all? So I think it's not going to go anywhere because there's going to be a lot of resistance. People seeing through everything. And there's going to be new truths coming out about this entire situation. So they'll try to push things through, but I don't think it's going to work out the way they want to. So just with the digital euro, it's kind of already decided. I believe in the European Union, they want to push this through. But they need us to comply. And I think that's the biggest thing we need to understand. We need to comply, otherwise it's not going to work. And I'm not going to comply, so I think it's going to be a failure. That's the feeling I'm getting. But it's really up to us. And it's also about waking up people, getting them to see the big picture and all the manipulations that have been going on for a very, very long time. The other thing I wanted to take a look at is the energies for this week. And very interesting energies. We've got the Seven of Pentacles. We had the Empress again. And we had the Strength card. So this is very, very interesting. A strong week, so to speak. So I think we do need to have patience. So what can happen this week can have effect later on. But this is really putting humanity back into, our strength. And especially with the Empress energy as well. Right now we have Super Tuesday with Mr. T. I do believe that he's going to win, he's going to be the candidate for the Republicans. The Supreme Court actually said that he has to be put on the ballot. They can't remove him. So the dark energies will need to find another route, another route, I believe, to see what they're going to do with him, another way of maybe getting rid of him. We have to see. I don't think they can stop it. And then, of course, we also see the Democrats with most likely Mr. B, which is just laughable now. I've mentioned this before, but the actor or whoever is playing Mr. B needs a raise because he's been working overtime. And it's just getting ridiculous. Anyone that still stands behind Mr. B, it's just a ridiculous thing. But I do believe that he's going to be removed from the stage pretty soon. We'll have to wait and see. But so we have Super Tuesday. We have, of course, the Supreme Court that is decided to stand with Mr. T, that he is allowed on the ballot. It has massive implications. So we'll have to see what's going to other things that will happen this week. But it will put people back into their strength, into humanity's power, so to speak. That things that will be happening now may not seem immediately evident what it's going to mean, but later on the line, it's going to be incredibly important for humanity to liberate us from all these oppressive systems. And of course, oh, sorry about that. Something went wrong there. So just talking about the liberation of humanity, apparently that is too much for the energy, but we are going to be liberated. There's nothing that they can do about that. For the advice, we have the Magician, we have the Queen of Wands, and we have the Six of Wands. Again, these are power cards. So this week, you can really individually and as humanity, we can really take massive steps spiritually. I believe the energies is changing. I can feel it myself. There's a lighter energy. There's a more powerful energy. There are a lot of things happening with the solar flames and Schumann resonance. There is so much going on. So we can really start stepping into our own power. There's going to be victory. So if you want to change something, this week is perfect to change situations with certain people. If you really want to move away from things, this is the time for you to do it. This is going to be a very powerful week. And so much is happening right now. But I do think we're starting to see good things happening. You know, a changing of tides, that we finally started to see the whiteheads. At least that's my perspective. We're going to see more and more of them, and more blatant signs that they really are working behind the scenes, and they're starting to become more in front of the scenes instead of behind the scenes. But we're going to see more and more of that. That's the feeling I'm getting. So I hope to see you in another video. Bye.